So I went on to one of the retailers' websites, a supermarket website, and let's just see in this comparison how things get more expensive the more convenient it is, right? A whole chicken, it's $4.80 a kilo, right? If you just get the chicken breast in the packs already chopped up, mildly more, or definitely more convenient, so you don't have to do it yourself, $11 a kilo. So double, more than double what you're paying for a whole chicken. If that chicken breast is then diced, so literally some guys just cut it up, that's $16 a kilo.
That's ridiculous.
Cooked chicken breast, so no flavouring, nothing on it. It's literally just the chicken breast that's cooked and put in a packet, $40 a kilo.
Wow.
So that's literally 10 times more expensive than the whole chicken, 4 times more expensive than the chicken breast in the pack.
Wow.
I think that is really what we're driving home to people, is that cost adds up over time, and approaching things and saying, I just want the convenience of stuff regardless of what it costs me, or not thinking about that leaks out from food into other areas of their life as well. What are your thoughts?
You don't realize it until you actually sit back and have a look at what the difference is and what you're actually paying for. And yeah, it's crazy.
So what about this thing of, people say, I'm too busy, I'm working really hard, I've got kids, this is going on, that's going on, I just don't have time. What's your thoughts with all of that?
Look, there's a time and place for convenience, and when it's worth it. Like I said, like today, like paying for the parking, it's worth it for me for that point. But there is always time to cook dinner. There's always time to go to your local food, like go to the actual restaurant rather than ordering Uber Eats. There's always somebody always has a spare 10 to 15 minutes to be able to go and do that. It's the psychological of this day and age where everything is so easily accessible, and it really hits with people's heads and really messes with their heads.
I think the point that I want to make is that if your behaviour to life is, let's just go over what's convenient with disregard for everything else, you're never going to reach your financial goals. Once you get there and you start getting on track, then you can start adding more convenience. Then you can start buying some of your time back, using that money that you've already got to start enjoying life. But when you do that too early, you're sacrificing things down the track. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you've spoken it. The key word there is what your financial goals are. If your financial goals are to, never have your savings go up and just live paycheck by paycheck, and that's convenient for you and you're having fun on that during that time, go ahead and do that if that's your financial goals. Most of my clients that see me, their financial goals are to build wealth and build a portfolio and do amazing things with their money. And so, having that goal as a mindset will always push them to be able to choose, not always choose the convenience route if it costs them money.
Yeah, exactly. And if I cast my mind back to before I had achieved my financial goals, and I think about this, one of the things that I would say is convenience over cost. I would say to my wife, convenience over cost, because I work really hard. I don't want to spend any more time doing this. I don't want to think any more than what I have to. Then over the years, my mind shifted and changed. And the question that I started asking myself is, when it comes to spending money, I ask myself, does this provide value? So in that example where you're talking about Uber Eats and meal delivery stuff, I'm not saying that you can never have Uber Eats again. No. I'm not saying that. Is it really worth that $300 a week because I don't have a car or I can't be bothered driving or I didn't do any prep? And you extrapolate that out over a year, that's 10, 15 grand in a year that you look back on and you've got nothing to show for it.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest takeaway that I think I had in changing my mindset. The other point that I want to make is that businesses and marketers are trying to extract as much money out of us as consumers as possible. And one of the ways that they do that is to make things slightly more convenient and then charge way more for it.
Yeah.
And that chicken is an example. It's possible you could go get a whole chicken and cut it up and you'd be far better off Does it take an extra 15 minutes? Yeah, it does. But what you're really saying is that you're paying up to 10 times more because you don't want to do that or you can't be bothered doing it.
Yep.
And that part bleeds out into every other part of life.
Yep.
What?
For me personally, I should deconstruct it even more. Say if you're working a job and you make $30 an hour, will you work an extra hour of your current day job to buy that chicken?
I love that.
Right?
I love that.
And most people will say, no, I don't want to work the extra hour for just for the same piece of chicken that we just paid for. Then that's what I like to say to my customers. Whatever they're making, whatever income they're on, if you're making $50 an hour, would you work the extra $50? Would you work the extra hour to then buy that piece of chicken? Because then you can afford it.
Yeah, exactly. And when you do that, are you doing the maths after tax?
Yeah, exactly. It's right. You're getting $50 an hour on paper. After tax, you're probably getting $30 to $35 an hour. Would you still work that out?
Yeah. Hour and a half now, basically, for that extra
Exactly.
for it. That's a really good mindset shift and a way to think about it.